Over 1 million people visit Belize yearly, strolling our sandy beaches and basking in the tropical delight. Before visitors even step foot in Belize, hundreds of stakeholders in our tourism industry remain busy at work to ensure Belize remains one of the top destinations in the world. Join me on the Inside View as we explore the work of industry insiders and find out what key stakeholders are doing to drive Belize's growing tourism industry. The Inside View, keeping you in the know. When we look at Belize's tourism industry, we can draw an easy distinction between two main groups of tourism: cruise tourism and overnight tourism. Within cruise tourism, the numerous tour operators form the main block of stakeholders. Looking at overnight tourism, the Belize Hotel Association reflects the most vital component that houses literally the industry. Today, on the Inside View, I'm pleased to be joined by Mr. Ted Tejada, President of the Belize Hotel Association. Mr. Tejada, welcome.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Welcome. So we move into trying to understand a bit more behind Belize's Hotel Association. Mr. Tejada, what's the primary role of the Belize Hotel Association?
The Belize Hotel Association, which is the BHA, our role is marketing. We tend to market first the country, and secondly, all our members, which we have over 115 members presently at the Belize Hotel Association.
And growing, if I'm
And growing.
Okay.
Yes.
So, can you share with us the vision for the hotel industry in Belize?
You know, over the last 4 years, I can share with you that the tourism in Belize has grown double digits.
Which is a very good thing.
It is a very good thing. Actually, when you look at the matrix from Central America, Belize is the fastest growing not only in the Caribbean, but also in Central America.
Excellent.
And so it speaks volumes for the country, and that has to be attributed to Belize Tourism Board, BHA, and the other entities that have been marketing. But the BHA is the second most powerful entity in marketing for Belize after BTB.
What other factors can you attribute to Belize's positive growth in the tourism industry?
I think, we have been also working in standardization. We partner, or Belize Tourism Board has been championing, Belize Hotel Association has embarked to support it. We believe that standards tend to give a medium or a standard to a client and say, if you're visiting Belize, you're expecting certain level of service. As you know, Belize does not have a lot of franchises. Right. Honestly, you only have the Ramada, the Radisson, now we have a Hilton, Alaya, Curious, in Mahogany Bay, we have the Best Western, but after 5, you stop counting.
Right.
So all the other hotels are independently owned and operated.
Right.
So an owner opens a hotel and he sets his own standards. Doesn't mean the guest will have the same standards.
Right.
But when you have a traveling guest that have stayed, let's say at a Hilton, when they come to Belize, they expect
a certain
that
level of
certain
service.
standard.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you that the Hilton will demand that the hotel keeps the same level of standards as a hotel in Costa Rica, as a hotel in Cancun, hotel in Miami. So that gives us some type of growth. Not only that, the franchisees bring some type of loyalty. Just give you an example, Best Western has over 33 million loyal customers. So they're individuals or travelers that will only travel and visit the franchises that they are loyal to.
Right. So they keep within that
That's
known
correct.
community.
That's correct.
Okay.
So if you look at a loyal customer of a Marriott that would like to come to Belize, and when he's searching vacations in Belize, Marriott, there's no Marriott in Belize.
Right.
He would say, okay, why should I go to Belize? Let me go to Cancun. Let me go to Costa Rica and use my points that I have earned during the year to spend it in a hotel like that.
Right, because, as a savvy traveler, you find those little perks.
That's
similar
correct.
to the frequent flyer miles.
That
right?
is correct.
Yeah,
that
where
is correct.
a ticket from here to Miami might cost you $5 plus the miles that you've accrued.
That's correct.
So it's something akin to that. Excellent.
Yes.
In terms of the Hotel Association, what has been one of the biggest accomplishments that you can speak of in the last 5 years?
I would say that we have been known, and we're known in the community, to be the second largest marketing entity for Belize.
Right.
So when you look at who is to market the country, Firstly is Belize Tourism Board, BTB. That is their main objective, is to market the country of Belize, to attract tourists.
Bring those tourists.
That's correct.
Yes, yes.
BHA, our 80% of our global fund goes back into marketing. So BHA does about 22 international shows.
Okay.
So
these
BTB
international across the world,
which is, we call them trade shows where you're actually trading with an agent, or we call them consumer shows, which is you're going to a show where consumers are practically coming to your booth and saying, okay, I'm going to Belize, I'm going to the Central America next year. Why should I go to Belize?
Right.
So the Belize Hotel Association is the second entity that spends money in traveling, producing some collateral that we use to market Belize.
So that is your premier time where you can lock in those agents, lock in those potential customers to Belize as well.
That's correct.
So you need to put your best foot forward.
You got to remember Belize is growing. And so what happens if we do not market the growth?
Right.
To be honest, this coming year will be very interesting, where we have seen a very, I would say, a gradual growth of 1%, 2%, 3% over the last 5 years in terms of room stock. In 2020, we're expecting a 10% growth. And that's a significant growth for a country like Belize.
Excellent.
So if you're not out there marketing that, more hotels are coming, more beautiful boutique hotels are in the country, and you have a stagnant amount of travelers coming every year, repeated customers, eventually you're going to be sharing that pie among the room stocks that are coming in.
Right.
So it is very important that the Belize Hotel Association keeps championing out there and finding new guests to come to Belize.
Right, filling that gap where the growth is
That's correct.
Being prevalent. So you speak about the overnight tourist statistics. Those numbers are increasing. Do we actually have the hotel room stock in adequate enough numbers to meet that demand?
I can say, it's always a conversation between the chicken or the egg. Which one comes first?
Right.
When you approach airline, and which we have been doing recently, trying to champion an international airline from London to Belize. We are very close, honestly, in trying to seal the deal.
Excellent.
But when you look at an international flight, okay, Belize has a flight from Miami to Belize, 2 hours and 30 minutes. A Houston flight, 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's a very relatively easy flight to get on and come to Belize.
Right.
Someone, if you look at the statistics, the traveler that comes from Miami, Houston, normally overnights in Belize 3 days, 4 days.
Okay.
Why? They come for the weekend, they come on a Friday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they fly out.
They have that Caribbean sunshine, Caribbean beach, take those selfies, and then back to work on Monday.
That's a very cheap flight.
Right.
Sometimes you have it for $125.
Right.
Now, if you're coming from London to Belize, you're looking at a flight that is over, I would say 10 hours, over 10 hours, or a little bit more. It's a longer, plus you have to check into the airport, do all the paperwork to come.
Right.
The planes tend to be bigger. We're talking about over 300 passengers per flight.
Wow. Okay.
So if you're bringing 2 flights, let's say you're bringing 2 flights per week, and let's say those tourists says, I'm going to stay, which the average European stays in Central America 7 nights, 7.5. Double what a North American will stay.
Right.
So if I'm bringing 600 people twice, 300 twice a week, and they say, I'm going to stay in Belize for 7.5 nights. So on one plane or 1 week should bring you 600 room nights.
Wow.
So you're looking at, you need a room stock of 600
to service
that international flight.
Right.
So when you start adding numbers, you say there are certain months that definitely we have more than adequate stock.
Right.
But there are certain months, you come December, January, February, March.
What we call the peak season.
The peak season.
Peak season, right? Yes.
And you got to understand, it's negative 40 degrees in Canada.
Right. Yeah.
So the Canadian says, I got to go to Belize for a week. I don't want to be in this winter. And you have the European coming at the same time. So the growth that is happening is needed to attract more tourists. But definitely we also need more airlines to come to Belize. So it's on both sides. We need the airlines and we need the room stocks.
So there's a balance. Now you're talking about 2 types of travelers, North American travelers and our European travelers. where have you seen the most growth come from? Has there been a noticeable shift in the past decade? And finally, how does that shift influence policy?
You know, when you look at the growth, and it's a good question that you ask, it has to do with the transportation.
Yeah.
The ease of getting here.
Right.
Yes. When you look at the United States, we have majority of our flights are coming directly from the US. Miami, Houston, Dallas, Chicago. When you look at Europe, we do not have a direct flight. If you would like to come from Europe to Belize, you've got to come through Miami, Houston, Panama. So you never get to connect on the same day. That means you're losing 2 days to come and 2 days to go.
Right.
Because the time you leave, you have to overnight in Miami. By the time you arrive in Miami, that flight would have left for the day. So you would like to arrive at the country where you're vacationing and say, okay, I'm tired, I've traveled all day, but tomorrow I'm right on the beach.
Yes.
You gotta wake up again in Miami, get up early, go to the airport again, check in to come to Belize. So that kind of limits the amount of tourists that are coming to the country from that particular region.
Right.
And we have been injecting quite a bit of money into European marketing. And even with that, we do see a tremendous growth. Actually, Belize showed the highest percentage of growth in Germany last year.
Interesting.
The highest percentage. But still, if there was a flight directly from Europe, I guarantee you that is going to be tenfold the growth you will see from that region to the country of Belize.
And as you mentioned, they have a longer footprint in the country.
That's correct. That's correct.
So you're talking about additional spending,
Yes.
additional nights, so it trickles down quite a bit.
Yes.
But the issue is the
Arrival.
traveling.
That's correct.
Traveling, going to and returning home. San Pedro, Placencia. You know, we always known those two destinations as some of the premier destinations for foreigners to invest. What has been some of the other upcoming destinations, if you will, upcoming areas where you're seeing growth in foreign direct investment? Yes.
You know, it's very surprising when I was looking at the numbers this year, which was the destination that had the largest growth. Actually, the district, Belize district, had one of the highest growth. And not only that, we're going to have one of the highest growths as well next year. There's a hotel in town that is ready to open. I understand it's going to open in January with significant amount of rooms for the market. And so we see Belize City growing. There's a lot of little islands that are also growing on their own. And I am thinking that once the highway from Cayo going to Caracol is paved, you know, that is one of the most beautiful part of the country of Belize. The weather, the scenery, the birds. I see a lot of growth in that area. One of the problems we have is reaching to the hotels. As you know, when it's the rainy season, that
travel can be very difficult.
Traveling can be very difficult. So I believe once that road is completed, I mean, you're going to be seeing large hotels opening on that because, as I keep saying, is the easiness of reaching for the client that makes it a business worth opportunity.
Right.
Yes.
Wonderful. So we're seeing interest in Belize, the Belize district, and also with the upcoming paved road to Caracol, that also provides a great opportunity for investment further down the road. Excellent. I mean, you know, Belize is you're driving all over and you're seeing development happening all over the place. So I mean, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what 2020 brings. Getting back in terms of some of the quality control and standards that you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Do we have, or does the Hotel Association have a rating, a service similar to TripAdvisor, or is it all something locally bred?
Belize Tourism Board is doing, and like I said, Belize Hotel Association is in support with the standardization, which is a completely different. You have your star rating, and then you have your standards. Yes, meaning, for example, each room must have 2 garbage bins, and one for recycle and one for third garbage. That is a standard. That's not a star. You check into a room, and the room must have a recyclable garbage bin and a garbage bin for garbage.
Regular garbage.
Yes,
Right.
so that every hotel that you travel must have that. I'll give you another one. Mattress covers, or mattress pads, they call them, right? As you know, rooms are rented every single day to guests. They come and they use it for their honeymoon, their anniversary. And at the end of the day, you must protect the mattress, because tomorrow it is not the same guest coming to use the room, right? And so what you do when you strip the bed, you strip the mattress pad, which goes to laundry to wash. And that mattress at all times is sanitary and is good. So we must have a standard that every mattress in the country of Belize must have a mattress pad. Those are the things that I do believe should be fully encouraged, or we should have a standard. These are the standards of the industry, which is trying to protect the guest.
Absolutely.
And the guest really appreciates at the end of the
And
day.
it also gives Belize, that positive feedback in terms of the satisfaction of the guests in the hotels. I
Yes.
want to speak about something that we all know about, Airbnb.
Yes.
Accommodations. So how has that type of accommodation affected the local hotel industry, and what has been the response by the Hotel Association?
The Airbnb is affecting globally. Yes, and it's a trending, to me, it's a trending industry where the person that loves the Airbnb, wherever he travels, he's going to love going to Airbnb. The Hotel Association has really not embraced it fully. We believe that if a hotel has requirements that we must follow in order to register,
Some of those standards that you're talking about as well.
it must apply to any 5-room bedroom that is out there that is an Airbnb. Those policies should also apply.
Absolutely.
Right? If I have to go and certify and have the fire department come and certify that this building is up to code in fire, that 5-bedroom as well has to be certified. Because if it's not certified and something happens to a guest staying in a 5-bedroom Airbnb, because the country is so small and we depend heavily on tourism, the news does not go out stating Airbnb such and such down the road had a problem and the tourists vanished. Yes, they're going to say a hotel in Belize. And it does affect our entire industry.
Right.
So we must be very vigilant of that we have an industry to protect. And so if we have to make sure that all of these things fall into place, the Airbnb as well, because we have to make sure that these codes are followed wherever a guest is staying.
How important is it that our hotels ensure that the visitors are exposed to a true, deep down Belizean experience compared to just being in a comfortable room? We come to Belize, we come in, it's a very humid, very warm climate, but we have AC in our rooms. Some people might tend to stay in there.
Yes.
How important is it for them to get that true experience?
I created an idea a couple of months ago, and this was a friend that called me and said, "Listen, do you sell panades?"
Okay.
I said, "No, we're
the fish or the beans?"
Yeah, the fish, fish panades." I said, "Man, come on, this is Biltmore, no." But then I started thinking about it. When I travel, am I going to go eat rice and beans in Italy?
There you go.
Am I going to eat rice and beans in
pasta,
France?
yeah.
I want to go to pasta, and I want to go to the food from that place. I mean, actually, when I go to Mexico City, I tell them, take me where the tacos are, tacos de lengua, all of these tacos that they make. So that's what I believe the foreigner want to experience. So we created here at the Biltmore, you can buy salbutes, you can buy panades, you can buy tacos any given day.
We got to get some after the
Yes.
this is finished.
And you would be stunned to know how many plates of that we sell every day. It's unbelievable, right? And so I believe every hotel or every restaurant should embrace that. The foreigner coming here, they eat burger and fries at McDonald's, at Burger King every single day.
Why would you want that?
Why
here in
would you
Belize?
want to give them a burger?
No.
So, and not only that, to enrich our culture and to sell these people who Belizeans are. We have black rain, or we have escabeche. Man, I think that those are the things that fascinate some of these guests.
Absolutely, right? The richness of
The
our
richness
food,
of our
right?
flavor.
It's been, excellent speaking with you, Mr. Tejada. You've shared quite a bit of information with us. Now, what can we expect to our viewers back home? What can we expect for the upcoming years from the Belize Hotel Association?
We continue marketing. Actually, our job for marketing just starts in November. That is when most of the international shows are taking place. Why? Because it's very cold in the US, in Canada, and so people don't really travel. They stay behind to plan their vacations and get out of Canada. So those are the times that the consumer shows take place. Those are the times that the trade shows takes place. So we just started marketing Belize, marketing our member hotels internationally. I can say that Belize as a country is poised to grow tremendously in the next 3 years, especially next year in terms of room stock. What happens with that when that happens? There is going to be a lot more inventory being added into the country in every district, in every corner of this place. So I encourage all the members, all hoteliers to do their own marketing plan, to start aggressively marketing, because it's not only the Belize Tourism Board's job to market, right. It's not only the Belize Hotel Association's job to market, but we all have to market our product. And there's a lot of tourists. There's a lot of tourists out there that are traveling all over the world. We have to capture that business for Belize. We have to capture our market share for the country of Belize.
Absolutely.
So continue upholding your standards, building on your standards, and at the end of the day, marketing your property. That is my advice to any hotelier.
I want to thank you again, Mr. Tejada. You've shared quite a bit of information, valuable information that gave, I know, me, and I'm certainly sure our viewers at home, a different perspective on the tourism industry. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Henry.
As you shared, it's all very important to ensure that guests leave with an experience that compels them to come back. And similarly to the Belize Hotel Association's goals, we wish for our viewers to continue looking out for more features on the show so that they can stay in the know as we deliver the inside view. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.